That's why everybody's so bright. But yes, the person who makes the will is the testator. The person who will get the gift from the will is the beneficiary, right? But if we hear beneficiary, no, because we have a local insurance scheme, then I will know who we put as a beneficiary, and we change them from time to time. When we can take that one and we change it, put on other one. So we know. But then the executor is a very important one. So the beneficiary is who you want to give it to. You don't know that already. From your group, you know who you are going to leave your things them to. And when you get sick, you find out who you want. You know all along who will deal with you properly in this life. And who you need to leave it to. Yes? But the executor is usually tricky for everybody. Because you say, when me dead, who really going to go and do everything for me? The executor get a little 5% money out of the estate, you know. Then get a 5 to 6% out of the estate. But you know, nobody will want to do it because I'm going to get a little 5 to 6% out of the estate. You want somebody who wants to do it because they know say your wishes and they respect it. Yes? But sometimes them come and you not tell them say them are the executor because normally when you do these things you don't tell them. You know, say you forget because then we kill her before time. You have persons who will take you because they know so you leave something for them. Yes? So what is happening now is that the executor don't really know sometimes. And so by the time they know, they must say, me can't manage that. And film son will love fight so. And film daughter, then we can't tanker us. Me can't manage the executor thing. That is why we have to think very carefully about who we will leave in charge. Because if this person said, no, your wishes are going to sit down there and rotten on that piece of paper. So think about somebody who you know is very loyal, who wanted to see the best for you during your lifetime. And I always said, get two persons. One who is older and responsible. And if your will live about 10, 14, 15 years, you want somebody who is young, who will by that time will get older. You know, want to put somebody who is 70, and then by the time the person reach 84, they must say, me. Take up executor. No, me can't manage that now. You want somebody who by the time you die will be able to carry out your wishes. They will be able to go to a lawyer. They will be able to look on the land, sell the land, if that is the case, what is on there. Or it's not working? You have a question already, Elder? Go ahead.
So what if the executor died before
if that is the case,
should come true?
That is why I always use two. But if both of them die, then you're going to have to do an administration and affix or annex the will to it. So you're going to have to do an administration. So whoever else is in the family, like the spouse of the person who died or the child of the person who died, they can do the administration and put the will in there. So your wishes will still be seen and still be adhered to. Then you have the intestate, the one who died without a valid will. Because you can have a will, you can die, and then the will not valid, you become intestate. Not testate anymore. Meaning we still have to go through the long administration process, which is the attorney. And then bequest is what you give, personal property. So like, you have your nice little, what is your name? Brooch. Right. You have a nice little brooch, you have your nice headpieces and all these things, and your dresses, and you want to leave it, personal items. You can bequeath. Or there's a legacy, you have a whole heap of money someplace. Them say you give the gift of money, then call it a legacy. And you can devise land. Then especially anything with real estate. Yes? Land, building, house, real estate. So these are the terms that you need to know because those are the terms that goes in your will. The money part. And when they find out, say it go split up the money all the time. But not everybody can write a will. You have to be 18. We say, that is true, but sometimes people die, leave things to you. And you have it in your possession but you can't really use it until 18. Yes? But can you write a will before 18? No. So that is why one of the next thing, when you're leaving things to children, they won't be able to write a will for themselves until they're 18. That's why it's good to leave the guardian that we talked about before. Because that guardian now will guard the asset until they reach 18 and can write their own will and sort it out themselves. If the guardian don't have the children's best interest, nobody find any. I always tell people, and I'm sorry, and don't knock me, but I always say, if you're in a relationship, meaning you're married to your spouse, and you have a child, I always say don't leave the guardianship to the father, if you're the mother who died. And I always say don't leave it to the mother if you're the father who died. I'm coming. Just sip on that a little bit. Automatically, your child will go to your spouse. Yes? But you need another ear. You need another mind in it. I always say use somebody else other than the other parent for the guardian. You see, if your husband remarry and pick up a lady who don't like your children, you're in a problem. You see, if your wife remarry and pick up a man who never want no children, you see, if me not finish it, me I go start over now. X out that. You see, if you remarry and you pick up somebody who marry you for things and when you know say your husband dead left you, your children are nothing forget. Yes, I suffer. So that is why you have to think very carefully, because I have seen it too often. You have women and men who are marrying persons because they know they have assets. So be careful of that. Now the next thing is, you must be of a sound mind. Awa. You have a question? I thought you were just wheeling the mic. I am so sorry. Go ahead.
I have a serious question. I heard you share earlier on, and you said about not making a will. And you give us a synopsis and a scenario with 5 children, and one is boy and the rest is girls. And that person, and so forth. And yeah. And he chose out, men power always dominate the female, yes? But my question to this is, there is no will, and he has, the parents has 3 kids, the 5 kids. Is that lawful for the one person to just come and take over everything?
It's even worse. We call it intermeddling. Intermeddling is illegal. So and even before the will, because when you have a will, you still have to probate that will. Yes? So it don't mean say you have the place, but there's an executor for the place. So you don't have a will, none at all. So you don't have no executor for watch over it and make sure so it's still a run, and it's still, you just don't have nobody at all to watch. So one person wants it now. That is still intermeddling with the estate. Because I see when you die, it die with you. So not die. It is buried with you. So if you take that up out of the grave, you have to do an administration. To take it up out of the grave, you have to do a probate of the will. If not, it is still there underground. You see, if anybody come and trouble the estate, they are troubling what is buried with you. So because of that, it is illegal. So you're a person who take it over now. They are doing something that should not be done. It should be done where everybody come together, 1 or 2 or 3, or you make the application, and when you make that application, you sort out the land or sort out the property.
I always see it that way because, why I ask this question, because queried a lot within the laws and so forth, and that is what it outlined. When you have a group of children and the owner died and didn't make a will, it is there between the
administration, everybody. And sometimes you don't even have to do the administration. When you see, if all 3 persons come together and agree and sign to it and go and look at JP and say that piece here and a piece of corner for so and so, it can work that way. But once one person come in and say that is all it is against, it's intermeddling with the estate. It tell you that you must be of sound mind. You don't know what I mean. if you are talking, answer to yourself. Exactly. I'm glad you say it now because I hear over here, no. If you're talking, answer to yourself, and you get one little paper saying mad, you are. So if you're not of a sound mind, they will not take your will seriously. So if when we look at the will, you're after you step out now, your little son come and say, she not really, when she did make that will, she not sensible, Or when the person who died, that is why when they come to the office, you have to sit them down and talk to them and ask them certain questions. Because if it is not all together, if somebody come to you and then tell us, say, hi, good day, my name is so-and-so. And next 5 minutes, you say, what's your name again? I can't remember my name. It means that there's something happening with the mind, and we might not be able to write a will for you at that time. You might need to get medicated and come back when you are more lucid. Lucid means you have a good chain of thought. You can understand what is happening, and you understand the gravity of what you're doing, which is writing a will, giving it to specific people. Should not be under undue influence and pressure from others. Undue influence is not alcohol. And that will come under the sound mind part because we're not taking a will from somebody who come in drunk. So if it's not intoxication, But undue influence means you have and it's a recent case I have, niece, and tell me if it not sound funny. Lady dies, has her daughter who was taking care of her at the house. Leaves her entire house to her niece. So now we have to be in court because the niece, the daughter is saying, how the niece get it and I was the one who is taking care. Me feel like the niece do something to me while my mother sick. Or when she was, because before that, the lady wasn't doing it so well, health-wise. At one point, they saw her wandering on the road. So up top, never altogether at the point of writing the will. But no, she leave it to the niece. Undue influence can be, one day you're going to her and say, sissy, I got dead now. At time, if you write will, give me house. And you call everybody in the neighborhood to be witness, 2 people to be witness, and then you make sure sign it right then and there. Now you write up a will, make sure sign it up. That is undue influence. You would have made up that thing. You would have forced it because she's just a lady on a bed. You would have forced a person to write that will. Should not be under that. If it is found that it is under that, out. It's not a valid will.
So that means this niece is going off. Because remember, she must have her lawful children, don't it?
She has her lawful children.
So she couldn't able to get that. It has to go down through the lawful children.
It would have to, and that is the priority. And I can't do that today. We can't do both sides today. I can only do the will side today. But you see the other side we're talking about who it has to go through. There's an order of priority. So it's a spouse, then children. But when you know one, go through all of them there. You make your name reach on the will. So you go talk to a poor little lady who can't manage and maybe tired that day and just take some medication and can't manage the bad ratio and just say, let me sign it. Because when you look at the signature, it was the signature. But a woman just couldn't manage. But there are some, as I told you about, as the man who came and said, I'm not going to pick them nothing. You have some who will boycott their children and say, I'm not giving them anything further. Them get all they need during their lifetime. This person take care of me. I love this new wife I have because it's a new wife in the but she was very nice. I want her to get something because I know that once I pass, they're going to try to push her out of the house and put in her on the will. We could have talked him out of it.
I heard you said something pertaining, even though you're not going there. I heard you share pertaining to, the levels where it comes down to. I hear you speak about the spouse, then children, and all of that.
The spouse, children, and then you go down to the mother and father, full sisters, then tell us it's full breed, half breeds, half bloods.
So what about, we're not talking about spouse, we are talking about a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Spouse is a marriage.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Me just like to use the name, the marriage, the husband and the wife.
Yeah.
And the property is for the husband. The husband property, married and.
If you have children, the husband will be getting his half, of it by virtue of another act. So he might get the half already, automatically, if you don't have a will. Him get half. And then now he might get half of what the children are supposed to get again.
So the property is for the husband. And no, I'm saying, like, you're talking about the will.
Oh, you tell me about a difference. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the property is for the individual, the husband. He got married and has his marital children, everything there, family-wise. But the property was for him until he gets somebody married to and live there, and then he get children with that individual. Say, for instance, the husband passed, didn't make a will. How would you differentiate in that area when you find, like, during that process, in the individual dying, there was a breaking up in the marriage. And the wife took what she wanted as wherever and go on her way, and, gadgets are where they want, so then gadgets do, and that's it. And
no, he dies?
Yeah. And he has been living with his kids over the years. Some grew and went out.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm saying, how would you explain in a situation like that when the
It doesn't matter in law. If you're still married, you're married. Law, you see, Jamaica law with marriage and divorce, it is strictest I have seen. Overseas, you sign up and then serve that and expect them have to sign it. And if they don't sign it, you do affidavit and say, he never signed it because he never liked me. And they're done. Out here, I boy paper me have to send out. When we send out the divorce papers, you have to send it again, and then we have to prove say serve, and then we have to send one other that are in halfway nice side, and we have to prove say that, and then we send it again, and we have a affidavit we have to send in. There's some. It's not. They don't take. Divorce in Jamaica it might be on paper now, but it is more difficult than the others. Because even though the person don't have to sign a document for you to go out, you have to prove that they are aware that they're being divorced. You have to be with them for at least a year, and then you have to be separated for another year. So it's like you have to stay in a marriage for 2 years. You can't just change your mind the next day and say, I want a divorce. You have to wait 2 years before you can get a divorce. So these are the things. We keep persons married in Jamaica, which is why I like it. Because you can't, when you think about get married, think good. Don't just jump in there because you can't jump out. So easy. So yes. So not be other and cannot be pressured by anybody else. When you're fit and ready, you write your will. You don't feel good today, you take out the paper, you take out the pen, you put it on the table. Don't make nobody follow you put the pen and paper to write the will. When you're fit and ready, you write it. Yes, Ella.
Before will coming in, before will coming in, there used to be a traditional of way how they do things before this will system
give
come
me
in.
one of them.
Demonstration like say a husband and a man and a woman get married, right? When the fact when they get married, even when they get daughters first, probably they get a son or a son after. The father always named the son Junior. Lawful. Right? So in all of his growing up, he always said that he would be the one to be explain what I explain to you. He would be the one to be
inherit
the position. Because even before that, even with the kings and queens, you see at England, the firstborn child, as a boy, him becomes king. The only way him not becomes king unless the king write a will to say he want to give to the younger one. Because even if he died without writing a will,
yes, but
the first son...
Are we same one don't want under English law no more,
Yes, but yes. The reason why I ask this, I've asked a lot of good people in office as well.
Yes.
And this is what the person says. So if you are contradicting what the person says, I really wonder. Because
I know me, I law.
No, true you know a lot. As though you speak as if you know. I am just speaking on their behalf, like they are not here. So I'm asking you this question. If you have if the man have a daughter or a son or two sons, because marriage life is different from our outside life. Marriage life is like, it's a bond because
right, so if there's no marriage,
if there's no marriage,
okay, just have a son,
right,
have children.
Yes, but when they are married now, if he gets the first son, father, because the head of the house is a father. All the while, when he get a son, the first son he give him full name at times. The full name related to being him as lawful.
Right.
For his possession.
Okay.
Right. Because that's what...
And that I mean in the Bible, we didn't know because we didn't have Absalom a fight to and them people. Everybody did come in and try go and they want to go to and look at something about a David thing before time.
If he died and don't write a will, who would the position go to?
Solomon did do, yeah, you remember?
Who would the position go to? Question asked.
So the position...
If he give his son, he have 4 sons, and he give one his lawful name.
In a will? Okay. Because we don't talk, My question I can answer your question today. But anyways. All right. So what happened is this, because I had one of those, right? Never really, if never did do it like say, I'm my first one. Well, he was. Because it was in court where he must say, him are the son, but if he inherit. He never feel like the father need to write no will. Because I'm my firstborn. So him take it up on himself, say, since my first one, where you come closer for? Where you come closer for? Him never feel like he need to do anything. No. So him not write no will. Come to court and no tell judge, say, me first the born and me in charge of the estate. No will not there. Can't work so. And you know when the two, Father, I'll sign in name, I'll back at the title and give me, Because that's what we usually do in the old time. I thought that was what you were going to say. Oh gosh, look at my Bible crush up. He usually sign the back of the title and give it to who you want to give it to. Then things say it could have worked that way there. A lot of titles I see with signature on the back and it given to who. Can't work. In there, have to share it. In there, have to share it up. By law, you can't just say a fear because you see now, if him outrightly call a family meeting, you see if he call a family meeting and say, what's your name? What's your name? I speak patois so often, I'm so sorry. What's your name, sir? Collins. Collins too? Your husband? Oh, your brother? Sorry. So, okay. We're just, all right, so say when this happens and then, how many are you? Oh, I mean now, but I use them as an example. But what is happening? Even if he did that, you see, if he call a meeting and everybody, all of the family, the children and wife come together and he say, in touch and say, one side I guango tree a fear. You see which party he growing state, then they so go down to a mango tree that a fear. And then tell everybody where it is, and everybody understand, and everybody start building a house, which party tell them and all like something there. Then the court will look into it and say, indeed, you want to look at interview us gift. But it is just to orally. Land not supposed to you're not supposed to go away or devolve orally. You can't just talk about land. You have to have things in writing. But sometimes the court is open to listen if everybody agree. So if you get one little piece of that, go and you, and then the two little wayward one, they must say, because we can take a whole lot of land. And come and say, oh, yes, I did for we, and we never hear when daddy said that, and daddy never care nobody, and daddy never touch him and tell him, say, a film over your son, with them cause confusion. The court will give who forgive when in the confusion. And you see two way of fighter now, they have to start out, they have to get a little survey done and cut in half or something. But it's not how we do it. It's not how we think we do it. The first son no mean nothing. We have so many illegitimate children that we are now saying are legitimate. We can't do that again. Because a lot of children are born in wedlock. A lot of children are not the first. Are not the first son in a marriage or in a proper union. So because of that, we can't do that again. We have to go by the law and do administration. Mm-hmm. But the tradition never done in our law from beginning.
No, it exists. It exists.
Okay.
When title coming in, title was a thing that to this shared person who you want to, it was a tradition going down, even in the Bible. It show you in the Bible with if the firstborn son or so on who bear the name.
Because when the father said, remember, say Rebecca, they have to trick. We don't read the Bible. Remember, say, we know what you're talking about, you know. Remember, say, with Esau and Jacob, it was the same little thing going on, you know. And he said, because Esau reached out first. And because Esau reached out first, Isaac said, hold on. Me not done it. And then he said, he might forget it, you know. It come down, and then Rebecca, they have to do a little trickery and making it dress up good and go on in. Jacob, they have to dress up good. We know. And we know that it was supposed to be Esau and all them things there by the law of the land. But that was the law of the land. That we are talking about is tradition. It's something that we have taken to say this is how we are sending. It become tradition over time. This now is the law because they have the acts to back it up. So we have different statutes, legislation to back it up. So that becomes tradition now. It's no longer the law of the land. So not because one want to somebody, because nobody no fight them. Because if that go before the court, they don't have any right. If that scenario go before the court, there's no right to the older one. And can't say because he's older. Because that was happening in the family all along, you know, where the older one took over all our things and just share if he share, if he feel. But the law said no. When somebody cuss the man about it, that's why he reach court. He said, no, I never that did he say, I mean not take that, you just want to give me wrong. And so he reach and he thinks he could go before the judge and say, but that did he say. And me, I always want some. No. If the daddy never leave a will saying that, it cannot go. Cannot go. Somebody had a question? Ah, yes.
All right, yeah. So, your father then left 5 year call and Zane, and a 6 away. 6 away, you know, and a 5 year call and. So no will no right. We don't know how this land is share up, because 6 away and a 5 year car. Each man said they want 1 acre. So one somebody left without a acre land.
No, you just have to make land.
Eh?
You just have to go make land.
Make it?
Yes.
And government conflict me half of make it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what my understanding is 1 person when you get none, or am I going to come to thing and say, look, you know, if you get an acre island, I know will not right.
Then can't choose an acre. You can't choose an acre. Everybody just have to go let off 1/4 acre or 1/2 acre. So everybody will just have to go to 4.5. Everybody's have to go to 4.5, so you get your amount, or 4.25, whatever it is, but if you make yours come up. So you can divide by 6. 5 acres must be divided by 6. That's how the law does it.
All right.
There's a spouse. No, it no matter where they're there. But we're still living with upon the earth, it no matter where you're there. Enough for them choice. One or uno do the administration and the property. Go to the attorney, do an administration, and the administration is what will divide the property equally for all 6 children. So if they want to come take it, a fit them problem. If they want you put one full kuban there till time eternal, a fit them problem. But you know that it was shared and you know where your boundary is, your boundary, and everybody else's boundary. If they don't want to come back after them problem, you go and occupy it. And after 12 years, your baby can just title it in your own but that is how it is. And let me remind you, land does not belong to anybody. It named commission. No. It belongs to the crown. It's a commission of land. Then deal with it the same way, where God owns everything same way. We are just occupy until it come. Right. It's an occupier. Not even tenants, we're occupiers. And by occupiers, it means it will take care of you and there, but at the same time, when he said lift up. All right, so we'll skip the video since as we had those questions, because the video was just recapping where we were. And what should you include in your will? So you must have your full name. We don't want no alias, blacks. It no matter how many persons know you by that. If it's not on your birth certificate, ain't a problem. I have seen people put name where people call them. So you name Lucretius Esmeralda Williams. On your will, you know, you're going to put Lucre. Who name Lucre? That depends on your birth certificate. When we do probate, we have to put in your birth certificate and your death certificate. And if you name them not match what is on the will, we don't know who. So now we have to do an affidavit of alias to say also called or also known as. And sometimes it gets burned so many times because no other paper have no Lucretius and no Lucre upon it. Then again, you have to know if you spell your name too. I may tell you because I struggle for me. The very least, as a children, they need show them how to spell their name, teach them. And not teach them, not make them learn on their own. Let them learn what is on their birth certificate. All my life till me 21, I thought my name was Latoya. So till all my email addresses is Charlotte, because the L-O-T is supposed to be my middle name, which is Latoya. I went no one day. But you have the old birth certificate. So, you know, that's me say, let me get a new one now, because time. Get a new one. You know, the old one is people write it. So, you know, so them scribble, you don't know what that is, if it's O or A. So, when they say Latoya, I say, who name Latoya? Because they make a mistake on my birth certificate. No. Mommy say Latoya name. So I said, they know me have L-O-T-A and L-O-T-O-Y-A. When I went back and looked at it, I said, you know, so could I really be A for true? But because they wrote it like that, make we know our name from early, because all of my email addresses is Charlotte, because I thought that was my middle name. So let us know it, because if me write a will and I passed, and see a Latoya on there, because I never know says Latoya my name. So let us know that, because that is going to be an issue. Yes, when I put your birth certificate as exhibit to the probate, the people them up there in the Supreme Court is going to say, who is this? Who is the person on the will is not matching the person on the death certificate, or the person on the will is not matching the birth certificate. That's what they're going to tell me. The mic, please. She's asking.
Yes, very important this is. Very, very important that the children from now know how the names are spelt and use it right through their lives. Correct names, spelled correctly everywhere they go, on your ID card, on your driving license as soon as you can drive, from the birth certificate, what is written on there. Don't spell your name. If it's supposed to be your name is Rudy, you spell it all different kind of ways. Because when the time comes, it is going to cost your persons. It is going to cost.
Because the more trouble it gives the attorneys, the more charge
money
we have to
pay. And
because Elder wants something.
saying?
Yes, so that is one. So the full name, learn the full name, use it. And if you want to call her Poochie, Punky, all the different names, let them know their right names. It makes no sense if they do not. Their address, their date of birth. I have had persons, when they bring the birth certificate come, when I tell them to go and apply for it, that some of them find out some very revealing things. I saw my mother name this spell. I saw my name this spell. And that my middle name. And that day them born. No, but I didn't think I did before. Many things we don't know until we look at that birth certificate. Let's ensure that we know it. The appointment of the executor, we spoke about this already because this is a person who will carry out your wishes. Then say, consider backup executors. I usually make, as I said, 2. I always have 2. 3 kind of too confusing sometimes. Because sometimes they travel and you have to get them to sign, for release themselves from the executorship. You know, one the person. 2 is normal. 2 is good for me. One that is not so young and one that is maybe a little bit younger than you. Yes? So if you are 70, get somebody about 160 something or younger. And then you get somebody in their 40s. Not saying that they can't die as well, but it is not more likely. Yes? The distribution of the asset. Sit down one day, write down everything we have. Sometimes when you start writing down, you realize you don't have anything, you realize you need to start getting things. So it can't hurt you if you sit down and write what you have. It says specify who gets what. So you write down the dresser, the 8-drawer dresser, because sometimes you have different one. So the 8-drawer mahogany dresser. 2, and write down the name. For 2, somebody in your mind, we're not sure yet, because I only want somebody to give it to you know. And even if you want to say 4 drawers to my cousin, and 4 cousin, and name the cousin. Don't just write cousin, especially if you have more than one. Write the name of the cousin. No bother call the cousin Punky. Because you know, say a Punky always call him. Learn your cousin's real name. Because if one other Punky ever come and say me and cousin, we'll give it to him. They're going to get it. Who else will get it? At that name that they say 2 Punky, them have to fight over the one dresser. Write the names. All right, so we talked about the guardianship already. The funeral arrangement. What people write them will and forget about the funeral arrangement. My mother always say, if me dead, you know, have to bury me. So it's not a question. She has to be buried. But it is good if you don't want specific things, if you want white sheet with gold around it, like me I always tell my people them, say it. Write it down for my executors to spend whatever out of my NCB account to bury me here so, there so, wherever, or me already pay for my plot and bury me here so in a this. If we so fussy over how we go down, you can put it down there. If you don't want to be buried and then say cremated, if you don't want to have a funeral at all but just a memorial service, put down those things. Now there's a cow. You realize the cow can give out in pieces them to who you want to give it to. Same say my chucks, I don't know what that does, goes to, who that? Max, the dog. And then him say, I bequeath my ribs to Auntie Millie. I bestow my sirloin to Farmer Brown. I will my round, which is around here, to the widow Wilson. You can't give what you not have. So if him never have no foot, he cannot give a leg to nobody. Yes? You cannot give ears and head to nobody if you don't have it. You can only will what you have. Yes? So this cow you're giving people, I take the right in the will with the right hand, and I tell people, say, this is what I have to give away. So if you know, say, the land we're up there, so up a country, is for your sister, do not write this up on the will and give nobody no trouble. Hey, one thing with Jamaica, you want to see how Jamaicans stay, we do everything extra. And me tell us, in I will them, we extra. We cannot will what we do not have.
Excuse me. A question for the will. In the will, you have how you want the will to be read? Like, you have will reading?
Yeah, you can. We don't really have will readings because most people just leave with their attorney or then leave it in a one little draw and who fast find it.
Oh, wait.
That's here too. It's an option. But sometimes, I must say it very silently. Sometimes you leave the things with lawyers. All right, you get it. Go ahead. Your question.
No, but that's like if the will, like the will, a will, like if that is a part of the will, like I would like if my will is being read publicly after my funeral service.
You can write anything in your will, and that is why you have to trust the executor so they're going to fulfill what you have put in there. Because you have some executor, no, the foolishness about me, I'm going to read out no will to nobody, I'm going to call them. Me and them people don't talk, me, I'm going to call that side of your family. That's why it's always good to get a good executor when no say once you die, they will do what you have said. You have people who say sprinkle, so mix up my ashes with roses and sprinkle it over Blue Mountain. Yeah, people have well for different things that they want, they don't want bury, they don't want, and they put it there, but is it done? Because some people you choose the wrong executor. No. You choose the one who can't, but I go up there, so. And the little money we left in the estate, they don't want to spend it on that. Then things say better if you spend it. Yes, so. Yes? So you have to choose who can do it. But as I said, give what you... All right, thank you. All right. So, as I said, write down the list. So step 1, list everything we have. Yes?
What makes a will legal and authentic?
We went through what is needed for the will. You mean as it pertains to the execution of the will?
Yes.
We're not there yet.
All right. Does it have to be signed by a lawyer or can it be signed?
No, we're not reached here yet. We're not reached here yet.
Oh, I'm jumping the gun.
Yes. So remember, see there's step-by-step process of creating a will. So first you sit down, write down all the things that you own. You choose the persons who you want to give it to, and you just give them, all right. If you're giving a chair, do not say you leave the white chair to Zach and the same white chair to Cody. Say 50% of the chair, the back part, is for Zach, and the part you sit down pan is for Cody. Yes? That's how you have to do it, or else it will cause confusion. Where a will is too confusing, it becomes invalid. It cannot be adjudicated upon. We can't make no decision about it. Yes? They're going to, if them can decide what to do, the court have to go decide. The court have to go say, well, since you leave it here, we're going to cut the chair down the middle. But then again, did you want to give down the middle? No, you wanted somebody to get the back and want to get the seat. That is why you have to be specific, or else your intentions will not be carried out to the fullness. Write down exactly what you want. You want a person to take upstairs the house? Do not will the house to 2 people, knowing that you want one for upstairs. Say this upstairs, my granddaughter Lucille James. Downstairs, my grandson Eric James. Yes? Just say it. And you see, let me tell you what happened now. You see, when you write a will, there's a little ending at the will we call the residue. So we call it the residuary clause. Our left. You know we call it what left? Whatever is left falls into that. So while you go through the will, anything we scrape off of the little side there, we'll go drop down in the residue. Anything we scrape. So if you know, give that chair and then can decide over chair, it'll just go in a residue. You see, anybody who you say forget the residue, and them will get it. So who you did want to get it, now get it because you don't write it down properly. Yes? Oh, you want the mic?
Question.
Go ahead.
I've been listening to you earlier on, and I have seen where you're basing your facts off. So in what I was talking about earlier on, I find that I was on a different page, because the question that I asked is a total different thing from what you're saying. Because what I was asking about the will, about lawful son and so on. I understand you're just talking about will. So the reason why I see that what I was talking about is a total different thing from what you're talking, because I was like saying now that the person whose name was Willie as lawful son, the person whose name was lawful, you achieved the title of premises, right?
Sir, before long, who was a lawful son?
Huh?
Who would have been considered a lawful son before the act came in?
Right. First and no, the reason why I asked you.
Yes, sir, before Manley, the assistant, I think Manley do it, Said nobody had a bastard. Before he came on, if you born outside a wedlock, you don't have nothing to get from your daddy. Yes? So when you're saying that it is tradition for you to just give something to the first son, you would get nothing if you never born in a wedlock. So if your father never married to your mother, you would not have gotten anything at all. Yes? So you could have been first son subtle. You see?
I know that.
No, but you're saying that is a tradition of old. And I'm telling you what was the tradition of old. Because you're talking from Bible days with David. And you're talking from Bible days with Moses and the people. But that was so because you realize that Ishmael born, or I wrong Bible me read. You remember say Ishmael born first? I wrong Bible me read? Who forget it because him born first? Was it in the union that God ordained? So in what then do? Send him out. They don't send him out because I got that give problem, I never feel him. So you not have not you when you're using say it's tradition, it's not tradition. It wasn't tradition. It's not tradition, sorry. When you say it was law, it was not law. It was tradition. Where a person say, that's why I will have a one son, because when me have my one son, I get everything. Even though you have 10 girl child before. They usually say the one son. It is not like that. That's just tradition. If the tradition is upheld in the family, it means that nobody is supposed to cuss when the one son born after everybody else and get everything. But if they do curse, the law will not uphold the tradition because it's not the law. The law says you are supposed to get it. Whether if there's a will and it's in the will, you get it. So if your father wrote a will after until say a fear and still give your sister them, you can't say, I'm my son. That's not the law. And even outside the law, if you can't say, I'm me, the first son, if there's no will either. Me know it will confuse you because you're not used to it, but...
No, but I'm listening to you and I'm a family man. And if I have my son, like I have my son now, and I have position, and I give it my full name as a carrier for my asset because my son bear my name. You know the daughter them will grow and when they marry.
And you have another son and what?
No, that's why I said you have another son, but you have a lawful son. You have to listen to what I'm saying.
No, but the both of them lawful.
You're not full name then. You give him your full name.
It no matter what name you give them.
No, but I'm saying my alright, for me, For me, I don't know what you're saying, but for me, if I have two sons, and I get the first son and I gave him my full name, my growing up of teaching my son in that the son that I gave, the only thing I'm going to write a will for is let me change it to the younger son. But for me, that's what I believe in.
Just give me them.
Yeah, so the first son that I gave him full name.
How many sons do you have? Okay.
The first son that I gave him full. You see, the reason why people use the land, the will and these things, you know, are because of the growing of people. Or people grow and have mind for.
So when your daughter then start beat your first son, you're not there to wait.
No, I don't know that.
May I show you a sign. Me can tell you this. I will tell you this. And I'm going to tell you so nothing no go so. Them not go sit back and have nothing and you leave everything to your son. So any manipulator, manipulate yourself. I leave that to you. Okay. All right. I know. What he's doing in and of itself is an issue.
You know why I said it? If I have a position and if I die and leave it to my son, I know that legacy will continue to go on. But if I leave it to my daughter, a stranger can come in and display what all that I work for. If I leave it to my son.
So your son is going to stay by himself?
My son carry on the legacy of my name.
How?
Because the name cannot change. If I name Collins, my son named Collins, the name continues.
But we're not talking about legacy of your name.
No, that's the wealth of the family. It's the land of the family.
How can it be? No, sir. Sir, how much time do I have, Mr. Elder? Elder, how much time? 10 minutes? So we don't have enough time to stay on this. Yes, we don't have enough time, but I can tell you that what you're saying is a fallacy. I wish I could go through with it, but I want to finish these slides first. Because you know what? Your son can marry a female who make him take for her name. But I will finish there. But because since his name is a problem for you, I can just tell that one scenario. So sit there and believe this. And believe that your female children will not bring on the legacy. Sometimes it is the females who preserve the legacy in the family. Because men are quicker to sell these things. Sell your legacy. Sell your business where you work for how much years. But I will move on from there. That is what you believe, but legally it will not be. It won't. Yeah, I understand, but it won't be backed by the law. It says, choose your beneficiaries, appoint an executor. We went through that before. Appoint a guardian. Elder, the next slide. For the children. We tell you that already. You see how many times? 3 times now we hear that. And we are. So it's a write the will. Draft your will clearly. Include all the necessary details. Remember, tell if you call people by their right name when you're giving it to them. You tell exactly what you're giving to them. Enough to be no big English. Enough to be the best English in the world. Just write what you feel. If you feel like, say, this tree and the 10 leaf off of it is for this person, 10 is the, write it down and put the person's name. Now it says, number 6, sign and witness the will, which is what Elder was asking about. How we know if one will legitimate, or we know if it's valid. Please don't lose track. Listen to this part. So you write your will, everything upon it correct. You review it, you like what upon it. It makes sense to you. You see, if you not execute properly, it becomes invalid. So if the terms are vague, as me tell you, it can be invalid. Because I said, no give away yourself. We don't know what give away. So do that specifically. But this part is very important. When you get the 2 witnesses to come and sign, it's 2 witnesses. The persons who are signing should not be anybody who will get a gift from the will. Because the court is going to believe that this person forced the testator to put in name on the will. Because they were present at the day of signing. Who will get on the will, no make them know. Don't let them come and witness no signing and no will. Make them hear about it. As me say, you have people who will kill you for what you have left for them. No things are because, no, we're all Christians and we're all Seventh-day Adventists. They will stress you out to death because they know something is in the will for you, for them. So relax on that. Do not tell anybody what is in your will. Write the will. Get 2 persons who are not related to you, preferably. Yes? Because when the relatives come and say, "Ann, me see my lefty to Sister Collins," and you go tell everybody what upon the will, you know. And after I left it to Sister Collins, you know, say brother now get nothing. You know, say Collins brother now get nothing upon the will. Big something gone out. Come back now, come pressure the poor person who write the will a while ago. Kill them off before time. Leave it alone. So do not give somebody who you can't trust with the information that is on your will. When you are signing, the 2 witnesses are supposed to be seeing you sign. Because anytime there's a question of a will, we call the witness them first. We call the witness them and say, what did you witness on the day of the signing? On November 30, 2024, what did you see? You must say, Mr. Brother Collins take up a pen and put it on the paper and he's scribbling name and there. He never too, in kind of the faint, he never too strong, and that's why you see he kind of look shaky so. And they tell you what, and that become an affidavit of handwriting, an affidavit of witnessing the document, yes? Why is it that they will look like that? So make sure that they are seeing you as you sign the will. Next thing is, each witness must see each other sign the will. Yes? So even though you not sign, it can't mean say you take your will, gone out the so, and sign and come back and say you sign now. That is why everybody must be in one place during the signing. Yes? Executor don't need to know about it. Yes? Just the witnesses and the person who is the testator. So, you can, before it was parchment. Remember the people that talk about OBA paper and all and send out people write their name on parchment paper and put it on the cotton tree. That is the paper they usually write it on. But that is it doesn't matter. Any paper you write your will, because that will be a hieroglyphic or whatever they pronounce it. They put it on there, you write it fully and sign with your witnesses seeing when you sign and them sign it too. Doesn't have to be a JP. A JP can be, hold on, a JP can be a witness, but they're not witnessing it as a JP. They're not going to put their seal and everything. They're just witnessing as a normal person. Because normal persons can witness your will. Once they're not related, once they don't have a gift on your will. If you give them something, do not let them sign it. They will not get the gift. You write it up, and it is signed by yourself. It is signed by your 2 witnesses, and it is dated. Goodwill. Mm-hmm. You want to know how to write the will? Right. Mm-hmm. But the will have a little specific language, you know. On the first part, yeah.
You have to use the mic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All the time they forge it. Oh, you mean? Mm-hmm. No, only one copy of a will is made. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, so you're saying that if at the time, meaning we are past making the will now, the testator has died, and now you're seeing 2 wills, and you don't know which is the real one. We have some people we charge all $400,000, $500,000. We call them handwriting experts. You see, once that is why we don't take Jamaica has not gone as far as to do online wills and electronic signatures just now. Because at the end of the day, you see that little signature, that little handcock that you have down there, so where you sign your name, whether or not it is an X or not, they can look at how you have written X's for all your life on different documents from primary school come right up for see if you write that X. Yes? So you'd have to pay that specialist to do a report on that and say whether or not that is this one or this one.
Use the mic,
Then I
please.
see him, Will. What is Elder saying?
So you print it. See?
Right?
When you print it, you use the fake copy where you print and put away the original copy. If that the fake one where you use, I same thing, same way.
It's a photocopy of the actual will,
Yeah.
but it's still the will. Are you asking if I can use that will?
Yeah, like photocopy part. The
To
one
do
you photocopy.
what? To do what? To get it probate and have them do things on there?
Yeah, like you can
So
put
the
the
will,
one, put money.
so I write a will, I photocopy the will, I fold up the original, put it away, and I'm using the photocopied will to show people that this is it. It is still the will. But for you to bring it to the court now, meaning when you're doing the probate of it, they're going to request the original. Because at first we set up a photocopy of the will, you know. And then after they prove it, they come and say, mark the original and give to us. So we'll mark it and say, we have the witness sign, we'll have the executor, and we will mark and send up. And then they will say it is real and this is what we're using. If it's a copy alone you have and the original get lost, there is a way to ask the court via an affidavit to ask them to accept the copy, because this is the only thing we have now. They will choose whether or not they accept the copy.
I see. Pretending, by my understanding, is still can forge. My understanding
A photocopy of the document is not a forge. It's not forging. It's not a forgery.
It still can be forged for a photocopy. That's what I'm saying. It still can be forged for a photocopy because you can put where you want to put on it and then a photocopy it same way.
You mean to cut out what is on there and then make a different one?
All right, say Tom Jones right there, sir. You cut out Tom Jones and put Harry Jones.
Right, and that means that what you have put on there will be a different handwriting, which is why the handwriting expert will tell that Tom Jones was written by somebody different.
Okay.
The same handwriting expert will tell you that what was written for Tom, what it was original this year and this one is the original writing, and then where you have the Harry on there is a different person because that was not written by the testator. They will tell you. They look at every character on the will.
So my short question is this. Seeing that the will, which have the owner, name, everything on it, and that person died, never left a will, can anybody use that will? Can anybody use that will, whether it be a junior or somebody, wherever?
I not get the question. The question is not clear. Not clear. Go ahead. Go again.
Say for instance, the person, that's his personal will, the owner, and he died, didn't leave a will. Can anybody take that will and use it? Like to use it to say wherever when that individual who died and it's his will, and he never his title or so forth. Can anybody use that title?
The
And he didn't left a
title?
will? Yeah.
Are you asking
The
if I can
title.
use...
I'm mixing it with the...
Right, so
That's
there's
where
a
I'm
title and the owner died.
Yes, and he
there
didn't
is
left
no
any will. Can
And he
anybody-
has children. All right, so this is now why we have wills and why we have probate and administration. So if there is no will, we do administration of the estate. If there is no if there is a will, we do probate and then administration, right? So the administration deals with everything putting a name on title, putting a name on insurance, putting a name here, so anything on behalf of anything that it says or he wanted to happen for his property, you put your name on there. So the person who does the administration becomes a personal representative of the estate of the dead person. So you will become the personal representative. You can go to NLA and you can sort out the title. So if you have 5 children, yes? You make an application as the personal representative of a person who died without a will. You now can do an application for all 5 children to go on the title. Yes?
It's not like that. What if it's just one person want to have it and to say that's...
But it can't go so. Because if a 5 pit name have, 5 of them have to be there. Or else you are intermeddling. You're causing problems in the estate. It is not a true and just administration of the estate. Yes? So that cannot happen. Now, if that one person has done all of that already and then put himself on there, you can do an application to have him off. You can do an application to say he submitted fraudulent affidavits to the court, and so they ought to be removed as owner of the property. You have your hand up, young lady? Let me finish up because of my 10 minutes. And then, so, just to go over what I said, generally you need 2 independent witnesses who are not beneficiaries. Remember, Mr. Taylor then can't have a gift to get. Signature, the testator must sign the will in front of the witnesses. And mental competence, you can't, the undue influence, you cannot be forcing the person to do the will. You can't tell them to put you on the will. You can't be doing these things and you can't be present doing these things while they're writing the will. You come and see your grandmother writing the will. Grandma, put me on that now and give me that. Don't give that. That is undue influence. Yes, that is forcing the person to write the will. Then, mental competence also deals with being of sound mind, being able to do things on your own volition, them doing it willingly and not being forced by anybody else. If they have dementia, if they have Alzheimer's, you have to wait until they're medicated and lucid before you entertain them writing a will. If you do it while they're not lucid, it will be invalid. If you do it while they're suffering from the dementia episode, it will be invalid. If it can be proven. Legal jurisdiction, the will must comply with the laws. So the same way I told that it must be done, that the persons must see when the signature is happening, it must happen. And if we don't have a valid will, this is what will happen. Poor grandma in her old age have to be fighting the judge because of the judge's decision. Yes? Common mistakes to avoid. Elder, 5 minutes, you said? Not updating the will after major life changes. You have 2 children and you still give the first son alone. Can't be. Update your will. Add your other children to it so that you don't have to have some type of administration. Because if you, say for example, you just bought a company, you bought a business, you have buy a car, a truck, anything that is not included in your will, where is it going? It can't even go to no residue. That part that can't go to residue. Me like how you listen though. Can't go. Because it was not included none at all. It's not even an issue with it anymore. It's not an issue with how you gave it to somebody. It's literally was not there. It was not there at the writing of the will. So if you acquire a car 10 years after you wrote this will, the next day after you wrote the will, it is going to go on administration, which means that your family will have to pay for probate, then pay for the administration aspect. Yes? Double trouble. Then if you get married, once you get married, whatever will you had before, invalid. Automatically. The day you say, I do, kiss the bride or the groom that you had before, you could have it a little more. It don't make no sense anymore. Because there's a different wife now. And so it becomes invalid if you die and didn't update your will, administration again, intestacy you're gone into. And you're going to have to pay some good amount of money to administer that property. Divorce, you get divorced, you leave your first wife on there. You get divorced, you leave your first wife on there first. As soon as the dead first wife come with our vice grip, move into the house on a fight over before on a divorce. And move in and take residence, and none of your children then can come in there because she come back. She run out all the new spouse that you have after divorce, run out everybody. Because while you leave it to her, you didn't update. So marriage, if you get married, it is invalid. So write another will. If you get divorced, change up a thing and take her off fast, take him off fast. If you have another child, add the child. Because that child is going to come and fight over that land. Or that house, or that car, or jewelry, or whatever on the leave.
That's why, you said, that's why as a Christian, when we are talking about these things, about land and will, I believe that, I believe in Scripture. The Bible said, this is the child that has his own. So if I have 3 sons or 3 daughters or family members, my family, my teaching towards them went from a kid growing up.
Yes.
That's why I tell you that if I have a son and I have 3 daughters.
May hear everything you say. You don't have to go back there again.
Turn
Turn your Bible to Proverbs 13, verse 22. I will tell you that the Lord would have opened my eyes to say that you would have said these things. Turn to Proverbs 13, verse 22. Ask Elif to send him these scriptures before we can. Proverbs 13, verse 22, everybody, let's go there. And don't want it to be said again that we are leaving children off of our wills or our inheritance. In Proverbs 13, verse 22, it says, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. This is not reach the end of this something yet. A good man, and not to your own children, he might left it to even grandchildren in consider, This is Bible. I love saying I'm deal with the Bible. That's why I'm not think Christian people will stay so. Because God knows that some of us are thinking the way you do. So it tells an evil donor, and it says the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. So even the wealth where sinners have will be given even to us. As it work out. So listen, you have to leave an inheritance for your children and even their children's children. This is why we're growing up so poor. We're not thinking the way we should. And you see, when you leave it to one son and that son feel like he have enough and he squander it, or if that happens, I mean, I'll say it because sometimes your mouth is very powerful. But if it should happen, your legacy gone. Right there. Whilst everybody could have enjoyed your legacy. All your children, nobody now to despise them father. Nobody now to say, I can't believe say how long and look at my father do and nothing left for me. Mm-hmm. But even, listen, even Ishmael that was illegitimate. Yes, that brother here understand me, Him understand. Even him. It says, these kind of many persons don't do this, which is failing to account for digital assets. Other persons, because Jamaican people, I can tell, they don't like the Bitcoin, something them and the investment. But if you are investing online, if you're doing your Forex exchanges and all of those things, if you're doing these things, remember so you don't have money. Remember money in the bank too. Some of us write everything about the land. And the portion of the house with the green painting, that portion is first, and then go down to details. But then they forget to have money in the bank. And so nobody don't know what to do with the money in the bank. What we have to do with it? it gone to another realm. We have to deal with it differently. Remember, that's why I said write down everything you have. Now, omitting key details, we talk about the funeral arrangements as well. The executor must remember that the first thing that is done is your funeral expenses. You have some banks. You have some banks that will literally give you some money to deal with the funeral expenses. So if you would have spent money before, some don't want to do it now. When the person dies, they don't want to do it, even when you give them your receipts. But you have some banks that once it is that you'd have spent money to bury this person and they have the money in the bank, they will give it back to you and they will write to the estate manager or whoever is there to say that this was given to this person. In fact, those are the persons who go there. The persons who are in charge of the estate usually go and say this was spent for funeral, if we can have it back. Or if we can have it to bury the person, you can go before or after the spending. So deal with the funeral arrangement and specific instructions. Don't forget to give the specific instructions. If you want the cremation, if it's something that you think is biblical and something that you want to do as a Christian, you have to specify. Nobody now gonna know. Some people won't even remember that you said you wanted to bury because the way death's stressful, they don't even remember say a cremation than they're supposed to do. And then you have some family members that come and say, no. Funeral, where we are burn him for? No, burn him. And then it done right there, so you're gone in the grave. You're gone in a grave that you did not want to go. Yes? And then, safeguarding the will. So remember, we're talking about who you're leaving it with if you're giving it to the attorney. The original will should be in a fireproof safe. I will say a waterproof safe as well, because we get a lot of rains as well. Waterproof, fireproof. You can't have it anywhere. Because once we find it and words on there missing, it don't make no sense again. We don't know what the will is saying anymore. It's done. Yes? Suppose this is all the signature aspect gone. We move out of that and move into administration with will annex, which you might not even know that term, but we're going into administration, which is not probate. Yes? Provide copies to key people. There are some persons who say that. I don't believe in having no copies out there. That's just me. I don't believe that your will should be copied before your death. I don't trust it. But if you feel like it's something that you need to do and you give it to the executor or whoever, fine. I don't trust the process. I don't like it. Sometimes people come to the office and say, and this is the copy of the will and all them something here. It's hard to get a copied will through the probate division. And that's one. And two, there's so many things that can happen. As the young man was saying before, with a copied will. If that's the only copy of the will, they might consider it. But I always say don't copy your will. Keep your will safe and if you want to let somebody know where it is or the vicinity of where it is, say it in the house, fine. Review regularly, we talked about that already. The marriage, the divorce, the birth, the death. Because a child can die as well before. One of your children can die before you go. You have them on the will. They don't have any children. Where is it going to go? It's best to do that so that we work not so hard. Because when you do that now, we have to decide, say, is that right? I'll go to the residue? Or we just have to sort out that differently. What you usually do is go back to the person who willed it. And then they go again. So there are issues when the person's died before. If they don't have children, because sometimes if they do have children, it can go to the issue. But that's a different ballground altogether. We're not going to go there today. And then, so we're at the end. Thank God. We can end. We're at the end. And finally, it says, This person said that they want to be buried with an elephant bone so that when people dig him up and they look at the bone and say, wait, was this an elephant or was this a human being? Just a little thing for laugh. But at least it's telling you that anything you desire in your will, anything you want to put there, doesn't mean the executor is going to do it. They're bound by law. They should, but they don't have to. And so that is the end of the presentation. Questions, or are we finished?
I was saying if will can be video.
The persons have done these things. We're getting there where we can actually do these things where we can say, see, the person is here, they're on the video tape, they're telling you what they want to do. Overseas, I know, they're there already. We not so much. We're still on the papers.
Amen, church. Amen. That was quite informative. What do you say? Amen. Yes, and I know I learned a lot that I didn't know before. Things that I knew, I was reminded of. Sister Gay, Charlotte, just want to say thanks to you for coming and for sharing with us. And I know you have a part 2 to this, that you're going to come again at the appropriate time to do. So thanks for the time that you have taken in preparing this presentation and presenting to us. Let us all stand now. I'll read for you 3 John 2. And it says, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as thou walkest in truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. So my encouragement to us as we go through this untried week is that we walk in truth. Is that the truth becomes a part of our lives. The only way we can walk in truth is by having the truth in us, being a part of us. Bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we truly thank you for your goodness, your grace, and your mercy. We thank you for this presentation this afternoon and the wisdom of it all. And we ask, Lord, that you will help us to do the right thing. Help us to walk in truth, because your word is truth and it's the only thing that can sanctify us. So we ask as we go through this untried week that you will go before us, behind us, and surround us with your love. Protect us from all the ills that lies out there. And we pray for your divine providence, protection, and blessing upon each person that is gathered here and those who are listening in online. We ask for your empowerment, that you will continue to lead us, that you will help us to understand the times we're living in, so that we make our calling and our election sure. Thank you for hearing and for answering us. Through Jesus' name we pray. Amen. When Sabbath's here shall end, and from these courts we move, may we an endless Sabbath spend, in heavenly courts above.